Hey beauties, welcome back to 2000 and Pretty. Today's video is going to be a declutter slash blog sale or vlog sale video. These are some of the items that I pulled from my main beauty collection that are no longer servicing me in a way where, you know, I am attracted to pull for them. So I figured instead of tossing them, I would go ahead and, because they're still really great products, some of them haven't been opened, they might be my backups, or they're still, you know, lightly used. It's just that there's other things that are pulling my attention right now, and so these things haven't really been getting the love that they used to get or that they deserve. So the first item that I want to blog sale is from this past holiday collection with MAC, the Nutcracker Sweet collection. This is the Peach Face Compact that has the Tutu illuminator and the At Dusk blush. So both of these were limited edition at one point in time, sold individually, and MAC brought it back in this past collection. So again, this is the illuminator in Tutu and this is the blush in At Dusk. This I have not actually worn on my face at all. I believe that I have swatched it once or twice, and yeah, so I've never actually worn it on my face, but I do think that it is a pretty compact. It's a beautiful compact, but it's just not something that I've been giving attention to. I've been more so enjoying the copper tone compact, the one that has both Berry Fields in it. So yeah, I'm gonna put this up on my 2000 and Pretty Instagram for the blog sale. Everything that's in this video will be on the 2000 and Pretty Instagram for the blog sale. Prices and shipping and all that stuff will be noted over there. And some of the items I am willing to haggle over for the price, but some of these items are set. So next up we have the Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette. This item I absolutely loved and was excited to get my hands on. I wanted the first Lorac Mega Pro palette that had the warmer tones in it. This palette obviously has cooler tones. It does have a few warm tones, as you can see, but predominantly what I get from this is a cooler vibe. And the original palette had those reds, those cranberries, and the more so shades that I was attracted to. And when I saw this one, I'm like, oh, this is kind of in the middle. And don't get me wrong, I did get some use out of it. I really did enjoy the entire row of shimmer shades and the tangerine and goji shades from the mattes. I enjoyed those as well, but I just don't reach for this palette as much. I just somehow tend to overlook it. There's nothing wrong with it. The pigmentation is great. The shade range is beautiful. I just somehow overlook this palette all the time. So I decided to go ahead and include it in this blog sale because I figured someone else would be able to get better use out of it. Again, from Lorac, these were from, I don't remember which year this holiday collection was, but they had this like royal, I think almost every holiday they release something from their royal collection, and that's where these items came from. These are 3 separate quads. This, I kind of wished that they just made it into one palette, and I think that's really the reason why I don't gravitate towards this, because it's separated, and if I wanted to like trade out colors or use colors from the other one, I would legit have to pull all of them out in order to be able to use it. So that's why I don't really gravitate towards these. However, the shades are beautiful. Lorac really makes some really great shadows in their pro line and as well as any of their other eyeshadow lines. I've never had a problem with Lorac shadows. It's just that this particular kit, this particular system doesn't really work for me and how I like to use makeup. Next up, I have this brush. This is a crowned. This is a crown round contour brush. This came in my BoxyCharm, so it's never been used before, and I'm never going to use it. I'm not really an over brush, a round brush type of person. It's just not my thing. It's just not my aesthetic at all. It doesn't really work for me, but I do like that this brush comes with this cap. So I think that's pretty dope that you can protect the bristles and keep them in shape and keep them from getting dusty. It's just that I'm never going to use this. I know myself. So I figured I would go ahead and include it in this blog sale. And if anyone is interested, feel free to check the the 2000 and Pretty Instagram. Also from that same month subscription of the BoxyCharm is this Brow Gal Kit. This is by Tonya Crooks. So this you get 3 different shades to work with. Again, not necessarily something that I'm interested in using. I typically use a pomade or a pencil to do my brows. I generally never ever use powder, and of course you can use powder. I just don't. And so I know that if I kept it, it would just sit around. If I kept it, I would probably use it once and that would be it. So while it's still brand new and untouched, I want to go ahead and see if someone else would be interested in purchasing it. Next up from that same BoxyCharm subscription box is this contour palette. This is by IBY Beauty, and it's pretty much for the same reason as the brow palette. It's brand new, and the shades are just not something that I am going to use. The only shade in this entire palette that I could probably use or would be interested in using would be contour number 3, and it's not enough for me to want to go ahead and just tarnish the entire palette for, you know, like there's 6 shades in here and only 1 shade I see myself using, so I'd rather just go ahead and sell it. This item here, oh my gosh, this is the Kathleen Lights highlighter palette in collaboration with Makeup Geek. I was just disappointed by this palette, really. I just did not really enjoy using this. I know tons and tons of other people love and rave about this palette. I am just not one of those people. I feel as though this palette really accentuated texture on my face that does not exist. But I seem to be the only person that has that opinion. I have not seen not one negative review on this palette at all. I've literally used this palette about 3 to 4 times, and I've swatched it twice. And this little nook that you see here in the corner, this happened when I was opening it. When the very first time I got it, when it's brand new, the magnet was a lot stronger than it is now. It's still a pretty good magnet, but you know when something's brand new and it's been closed forever and then you go to open it the first time. So in the struggle to open it, I ended up nicking this powder in the corner right here. But nevertheless, it's still in pretty good condition. It's just not something that I get any use out of. And I did try to like this palette. It just didn't do it for me. Oh, I do have another Lorac palette. This is the Lorac Pro palette, the original Pro palette. And these shades, again, my feelings are the same about Lorac shadows. I really do think that they are beautiful. However, I just really overlook this palette. And I honestly think it's because there aren't enough warm tone transition shades in it. These 3 light shades here look the same on me. There's no variation for that. I know it goes from this really, really stark white to a cream and then it's light pink, but honestly, once I get it on my eyelid, it all kind of just looks white. So that doesn't work for me. The taupe color, I wish it was a little bit warmer. I wish it was somewhat like NYX's Dance the Tide shade. So that doesn't really work great as a transition shade on me. So that's those 4 shades there. The others I definitely have used and enjoyed, and especially the shades Sable and especially Garnet. Those shades are beautiful. Hands down, I think they come together really easily to make a look. It's just that I overlook this. It doesn't interest me, and that really sucks because the formula is amazing. This other palette here is the Nude Tude palette by The Balm. Okay, when I first got this, I was totally into it. I did like it a lot. However, after a while, after growing my collection a little bit more, I just kind of feel like I got bored with it. Now, on the mirror, there is a crack, and again, that happened when I opened the palette. I think I sat it down on my couch because I unboxed it on my couch, and in the process of getting up, I think I like pressed my palm on it, and the pressure from my palm cracked the mirror. So there's that, but it's okay. It's a smooth crack. There's no rough edges. There was no splintering. There was nothing. Just that smooth crack. But nevertheless, the shadows in this palette are great. They're not the best shadows in the world, but they do perform really nicely. They really do have good pigmentation. Again, you know the kinds of colors that I gravitated towards: sexy and seductive, and I did enjoy the sleek, which is this deep brown here. But for the most part, I just kind of got bored with the palette and moved on to other things. Now we're moving on to the original Reveals palette. This is by Coastal Scents. It's a 20 shadow palette. I do have the Revealed 2 palette as well, and I absolutely love that palette. That palette has tones like the cranberries and the reds that I am very much attracted to. These palettes were released among the first sets of Urban Decay Naked palette dupes. So, you know, that's why these shades look so familiar, as I'm sure most of you already know. So this was supposed to dupe a lot of the shades from the original Naked palette. And I purchased this because I wasn't sure if I wanted the Naked palette, and then I kind of got the Naked palette and ended up returning it because I just didn't love it. These shades, the shimmery shades by Coastal Scents, are amazing. I do love them. I think that they work really nicely on the eyelid. I think that they look really good. I think that they're really good at attracting light and reflecting light. So the shimmer shades are really great. The mattes in this palette were very underwhelming to me. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 mattes in this palette, and the black is nice, but the other ones were, again, like I said, underwhelming. They didn't really work as great transition shades for me. I really did try to use this one here as a transition shade, and it just didn't work out for me. I didn't enjoy it because it's not the kind of tones that I like in my crease, and so yeah, I ended up not really reaching for this palette much. I have some illuminators from Wet n Wild. I love these, but these are my backups. When Wet n Wild released these, when they were still limited edition, particularly these two, when they were still limited edition, every time I saw them, I purchased them. And then the same thing with this. When this came out on the shelves, whenever I saw them, however many there were, I purchased them. So I have a set of these that are open and going now that I'm using and loving. I have a set of these that I've given away, and so these are another set that I am going to Declutter / blog sale, Instagram sale, whatever. Now I was thinking of selling them as a bundle, but as listed on my Instagram, they are listed individually, but I think I'm going to post a picture of them as a bundle in case people just want to buy them all together. So that way you'll be able to do that. So last up, we have these 3 products here. This one here is from Sonia Kashuk. This is the Aya Neutral 2 palette. I wanted this palette for a very long time. You can find this at Target, or you can find it on Amazon, you know, places like those. And I purchased this palette and I used it a few times, but I just didn't love it as much as I thought it was going to. So it's kind of sat in my collection for a few months and I haven't touched it. I have not been drawn to it in any way, but the shadows are really nice. They do perform beautifully on the eye. You can get really simple eye looks from it, but I do have other palettes in my collection that give me I guess more of the neutral eye that I'm attracted to. It is an all matte palette. You know, you have to know that going into buying this, that there are no shimmers included in this, which is not a bad thing. This actually worked really nicely with a lot of my single pan shimmer shades, so that's really how I got most of my use out of this. But it has sat for a while and I just don't see myself reaching for it anymore. This next palette up is from Sleek. This is the I Divine Au Natural palette. Sleek is now being sold at Ulta, guys. So you know how you had to struggle to get Sleek here at one point, either ordering internationally from the Sleek website or ordering from Amazon. You no longer have to do that. Anyway, so this is their classic palette. This is one of their original, their OG iDivine palettes, and this is Sleek is a drugstore brand in the UK, and most of their products have really high quality, high-end performance. Like, I love their blush by 3s. This palette right here is another really good palette. The shimmers are great, the mattes are pretty okay for me. Again, they're just not in my shade range, they're not my cup of tea. They looked a little warmer online, which is what made me buy it, but once I got it, they were a little bit flat, a little bit cooler, and so I don't pull for it. Lastly, from Makeup Revolution, this was again another international brand that is now being sold at Ulta. They make really great drugstore products. This is the All About Bronze palette, and this palette is just not deep enough for me. Out of the 8 shades, I really only use 3 of them, and that's the 3 shimmer shades here. The other 5 shades are never touched. Like, they've only really been swatched, and this one I did try on my face one time just to see how it would apply, and it didn't do anything for my face. And then again, I tried it one other time in the crease for an eye look to see if it would work as a big transition color, and it really didn't do anything for me yet again. So that's why I'm decluttering this or blog selling this, because it just doesn't work with my complexion. I've seen a lot of lighter skin tone people use this palette and it worked great on them, but it's just the wrong shades for my skin tone, and that's really why I'm getting rid of it. Here are a few more items that I just pulled out. These are backups. I currently have one of these, well, not this one, but most of these running in my collection right now, and then these are just the items that I had doubles of that I am going to bundle somehow. I haven't figured out how I want to bundle them all yet, but I am going to go ahead and bundle these and post them on the Instagram page as well. So we have some e.l.f. palettes and a whole bunch of random e.l.f. things. These e.l.f. bronzers. We have this Wet n Wild lipstick. This is Stoplight Red. I'm going to bundle that with maybe all of the Wet n Wild items. This is City Color Timeless Beauty palette. I have one of these running in my collection as is. As you can see, this one is unopened. It's brand new. So, yeah. Then we have the Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips. Both of these are in Sunset Strip. I have one of these running in my collection already. We have this e.l.f. matte lip color. This is in Berry Sorbet. Again, another extra. All of these are extras pretty much. This is the Clinique Morning Java Sunset Glow. What is this, a quad or what? No, it's a trio. So you have 2 eyeshadows and a blush. Brand new, never before used. I just know. Come on, focus. There we go. I just know that I'm not gonna use out of it, so I don't want to touch it. I don't want to swatch it. I want to pretend to use it, and then it just sit. We have this Maybelline Natural Smoke Quad. This is a beautiful quad. I currently have one of these running, and this is really simple. The shimmers are great. This is like when Maybelline's palettes had a really good formula. I don't know what they're doing now. I think they're trying to get back to it. They changed it for a minute. It wasn't working. Now they're getting back. These 2 Wet n Wild singles. One is in Kitten and the other is in Lagoon. So yeah. And then lastly, we have the Maybelline Master Smoky, and this is in the brown shade, Scorching Brown. Yeah. So I never opened this because I have one brown pencil that I use that has lasted me a lifetime, and I couldn't imagine having 2 open. I would never get through it. So yeah. So these are all of the items here that I'm going to bundle somehow, some way, and post them up so that you don't have to try to purchase them individually. I just feel like they'll sell better as a group. So this is everything that I am decluttering from my collection and posting on my 2000 and Pretty Instagram. So you can go ahead and check it out and see if any of these items are things that you are interested in purchasing. And if you are, feel free to DM me. My Instagram blog sale is pretty much set up in a really straightforward manner. First person to message me about their interest in the item will have priority over everyone else. You go ahead and pay through PayPal, and you get 24 hours to complete your payment, and if not, I will move on to the next person. So for any further information, again, go ahead and check it out at the 2000 Pretty. I will have everything linked down below. You can definitely click through to get to that page with ease. And other than that, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if there's anything else that you want to shop from my stash. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Talk to you later.